Hi there, Mac. I'm here with my 33rd video for Wyrmberg Games, and I'll be bringing you an unboxing for Wizard from Forbidden Games. We found this under the Christmas tree. Let's take a look. Now, slight disclaimer, I have already opened it and sorted everything out and got all the things punched out of the board. So we've got a nice little rulebook, always very handy. I've already done a quick flick through. It's very easy to follow, very well laid out rulebook there. We have this rather gorgeous board. The artwork is quite dark. I'm not sure if it shows up particularly well there. At the top we have where the resource value is counted. There's 7 different resources you can get, and then the various things you can purchase are all laid out on this board very nicely. And inside the box you've got a lovely space for the first player marker, which is one of the wizard lizards, and 2 removable inserts. Once all the items have been punched out, they go into. Not only the shapes of the holes the same shape as the items, but there's a little symbol at the bottom as well, just so you know what goes in where. I think these are the reagents. So we've got mandrake roots, eye of newts, horns, toadstools, foxgloves, sulphur, and nightshade. They're the general resources you need in order to do things. That comes with a nice lid to hold everything in place. When I held the box up sideways just now, everything stayed where it should have been, which is always nice. And the second one basically holds counters for mana and gold in various denominations. Again, it's all nicely contained in that insert. And the next bit, we have a nice insert for all the cards. You see there's been a bit of moving about, but not too much. So we have some tiles, which are achievement tiles, worth extra points during the game if you get there first. We have the dungeon deck, featuring either creatures of various types or treasures. And this is a push your luck aspect of the game, where if you encounter 2 creatures, you bust, but you can stop any time before then and keep the treasure that you found, if any. Good way of generating gold. You've got the reagent deck, which you need to play in order to go and collect various ingredients. And they're split into 2 bits, one saying what you can collect, and one that will increase the value of that item on the big board at the top. However, at the beginning of the game, you can only collect 3 of the items at the top. In some cases, you don't get much choice, but in other cases, you do get a bit more of a selection, but you still can only collect 3. And in the larger decks, we have the familiar deck, where you can acquire familiars. Again, the artwork is pretty dark. We've got the core of them, and there's 5 of those, all different mana values, and they all do slightly more powerful things depending on what value you've got. Imps, Nymphorum, and each one of them covers a different aspect of the magic realm. I think it's like 7 different varieties. Troglodytum, and this one does the thaumaturgy, for example. Bathonum, the toad. Volps, the fox. That one does conjuring, for example. And Aranea, the ghostly spider, involved with enchantments. Lovely artwork for that. We have the Green Towers deck, where there appears to be 4 different iterations of each tower for this one. So there's the Obsidian Fortress, for example, which gets you 1 foxglove or 1 gold, to a level 4 one, which gets you 4 of each. That's for necromancy, for example. And there's a whole bunch of those. But again, really nice artwork, if a little bit dark. Then you have your wizards. Again, there are 4 iterations of this, but they're all the same in this case. Each one responsible for a certain type of spell. So that one does the conjuring. Bophonum Creaturi. The enchantment is the Ignis Fulgurus. And so on and so forth. So again, really nice artwork, just a little bit dark. And finally, there's the spell deck. And there's a whole ton of these. Each one's got a scroll printed on it, protected from 1 negative spell effect, then placed out of play. It's got the cost, in the case of Mandrake Root, at the bottom. It's a type of enchantment, this one. And it's got 1 time at the bottom, meaning you can only play it the 1 time. Whereas the Secret Society, which has the ongoing circle, is once it's played, it stays in play for the rest of the game. May hide your wizard cards. Any negative spell aimed at your wizards affects a random wizard of yours. And that's another enchantment. So each one's got a different aspect of the spells, and they're either 1-shot or ongoing. And they cost... this charm, for example, costs 5 resources. Take a wizard card from another player. So there's a bit of take that involved as well. Although if you don't like that, they put a little star at the bottom of the cards, and you can take those out if you don't like having take their aspects of that. If you don't want to take that, it's basically forcing another player to miss a turn or to steal their resources, rather than having a more passive game where you're trying to do your own thing and build up your own success. There's stuff that will snipe at other players. Some people don't like that sort of thing, and they thought about that, so you can remove those cards if you want. In terms of quality, I'm really impressed with this. The cards are really nicely made. They've got a good feel to them. I'll say my ongoing critique really is the artwork is very dark, so you need a well-lit room to see them and appreciate them. The tokens are quite thick, good chunky cardboard pieces, and the trays themselves have been nicely thought out. And that's one of those games you can very easily get back in the box without too much fuss. The board is huge, but again well laid out. Everything's got a very obvious place where it goes. You know, there's a bit for the dungeon deck here, your familiar cards go here, the spell cards go there, and it even tells you when you can cast spells. So when you gather the reagents that'll do it, when you research a new spell, or when you summon a familiar. So there's only 3 times you can do it, but it tells you when you can do that. In terms of gameplay, it's pretty straightforward. On your turn, you get to do one action. There's 6 things you could do. So you can either play one of your regent cards and get the resources, or you can convert the resources into mana. You can recruit a mage from the board in an auction style where each player bids mana in order to win the mage. So even though it's your turn, you're not guaranteed to get it, which makes things a little bit more interesting. Or you can build a magical tower, which gives you various buffs. I think will also increase the amount of ingredients you can hold. Or you can summon a familiar, or you can research and cast one of the spells. Each turn, one player will do one of these items, and then it goes round to the next player. But because of the auction aspect, even if it's not your turn, something still might happen that's interesting to you, because it's like, if that person goes for a mage, I can bid for it, sort of thing. The game ends when one of the card types is exhausted, and the player with the most points is the winner. And it is a really lovely surprise. Really eager to give this a go. It plays 2 to 6 players, and somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. Though I suspect if you know what you're doing, that can be a lot quicker. So there you go. Have you played Lizard or Wizard? What do you think about it? Comment down below, please. Or what game did you get for Christmas? As usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and other YouTube things if you want. And until next time, see you later.